Thank you for staying with us thus far. We're winding down now gradually.
On an independence episode, please, you have to underscore that. Yes.
And we have with us a singer, songwriter, and music producer. He began music professionally in 2010 when he released his debut single, Omoyele. The name of our guests this morning is Kent Edunjobi. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
There was a video of you before this, before you actually arrived.
Okay.
And you were looking very sad. And it was a song about your love.
Okay, that's Omoyele. That's the song I released 2010.
Why were you looking so sad?
Yeah, because I was missing my Omoyele.
And then you found her.
I found her. And I married her.
Thanks be to God.
Is that in the act, or is it that acting, or for real?
Both acting and real.
There it is. There you are. There you are.
Yeah.
Looking very sad. Oh. Okay. Now, mainly what you do now is soundtracks, right?
Yeah, not just soundtracks. I do music. I refer to myself as a music maker because there are so many things that I have in me that I'm still exploring, that I'm still giving out. So from singing, making music generally. So I produce, I sing, I write, I compose for movies, for any occasion, and I do live performances as well.
Okay, you say you're still exploring.
Yeah.
That means you're still discovering yourself.
Well, we discover ourselves every day.
Okay. So what are you finding as you are exploring?
Well, I think I'm beginning to see the actor side of me.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a bit of acting there somewhere too.
Somewhere.
Okay, okay. So we expect to see you in Kunle Afolayan's movie anytime soon, or are you in one already? Which hasn't been released?
I featured in Citation. I did a cameo in Citation, Kunle Afolayan's movie. I think he released them last year. And I'm also open to do some auditions as well. So let me try my hands on that as well.
Okay, there's this one on the screen. What's this one?
Okay, so
that's Roti.
That's Roti.
Yes,
okay.
That's Roti.
Roti is a thriller. I think a lot of people have watched it. It's a film about there's this myth about reincarnation in the society. So some people still don't believe, some people believe. So the film talks about the possibility. Could it be real?
Roti.
Okay. Well, we could go on and on about that one, especially since it's right behind me. But, you've worked with Kunle Afolayan on a number of projects.
Definitely.
What's the relationship?
Okay, for me, I think we connect in terms of our ideology. For example, is hell-bent on everything that has to do with African. His sense for African and culture is just up there. And for me, growing up, I grew up in a family whereby we are deep-rooted in African culture. My mother, my father, they taught us the African way. So everything about African, I find it very fascinating. From our dress sense, our culture, our music, our style, our food. So, and I think that was what brought us together because when he heard my music, he immediately reached out, and of course I've been longing to work with him. So that connection just it just ignited, and we started doing things together way back from 2016 up to now. We're still working together.
Yeah, so what is a computer scientist doing in music?
Well, music for me has always been, it's a gift. I can't say, I didn't learn music from anywhere. I didn't learn production from anywhere. I didn't learn how to play the instrument from anywhere. I taught myself how to play all those things. And
which instruments do you play?
I play the piano, I play the bass, I play the guitar, I play the drums. I play the the talking drum, omele, gong, and I'm also trying to lay my hands on violin.
And you also play the microphone.
Yeah, I play the microphone.
But answer that question. How did you, segue?
So the thing is, music has always been the thing for me, right from childhood. But
so why didn't you just go and study music then? Why computer science?
The thing is, there's this, there's this myth in our culture, in the society, that you have to study you have to be either an engineer or a doctor
or a lawyer.
Yeah. So growing up, I knew that music was what I wanted to do. I knew that music was it for me, but the fear of, I don't want to disappoint my parents, my siblings, they think I should be this, I should be, okay, what next aside from music do I have flair for? Okay, gadgets, okay, computer, okay, let me go and study. But even at that, even while I was studying, it was still music for me. So it got to a point I had to tell myself, okay, you know what? I've had enough. Let me follow my dream, and I've never regretted it.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm sure computer science is also helping you with your music.
Of course, because you have to, right now, music production has gotten to this level where everything is almost computerized. Digital, yeah. So you have to be vast, you have to, you have to be updated. There's so many softwares and upgrades coming up every day. And if you want to remain at the top, if you want to still be relevant, you have to, upgrade yourself. And
look, let me fly a kite here.
Yeah.
A partner commented on your attire when you came in. So, I don't know, this might shock you a little as well. So, I'm just imagining 20 years from now, 30 years from now, the MD of a bank walks into his office with this attire.
That is far-fetched.
Well, you see, for me.
So sorry, the question there is, it's becoming. You may have noticed as well. I'm sure you have. It's becoming increasingly difficult to get young people to dress formal, so to speak. But as opposed to dressing casual and still producing excellently brilliant ideas and products and services and everything that they offer. What does it do to the mind when you wear African?
Okay, so when I'm going to answer the question from my own point of view. So I
you
see
can't take my point of view, actually.
So for me, I take my dressing as part of my tools for working, because it helps me create. It helps me create. It puts me in that sphere where I can dig deep. I don't have to feel like I'm
constrained.
Yeah, constrained. So I just get right.
The ideas just come.
It comes, and I think a lot of people, even our society, I think we need to start looking at it, even in the corporate world as well. Because you work in a bank, you have to put on a suit and a tie. Okay, that's a culture that belongs to a certain society. So why can't we work in a bank, but still put on your buba and shokoto from Mondays to Friday? Why can't you work in?
You have to be formal.
Okay, so formal. Why can't you use your African style to be formal? Why can't we do that? I mean, we don't have to box ourselves in a culture that isn't ours.
Well, you're an artist. So I am not surprised you are thinking the way you are thinking. And as an artist, you take all kinds of liberties.
Yes.
And you mix all kinds of colors. You can wear English shirt with kembe trousers made in silk adire. That's allowed.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And you can get away with it because you're an artist.
Not a banker.
Not a banker.
Yes.
Not an engineer.
But we are humans. a law can come in today, or we can decide to do what we want to do at the end of the day. Nobody's going to hold us to it.
We don't have artists, not all of us have artists' liberty.
Okay, you have a peculiar, style of singing.
Yeah.
Tell us about your genre of music. I would liken it to a beautiful Nubia kind of song, an Asha kind of song.
Yes.
What's the lady who did Ifebi Ejewuro, Shola Allison kind of song? What would you call your own genre?
Okay, so my genre is a fusion of the African sound and jazz and the Western sound, but creating a balance to it. Growing up, I grew up in a white garment church, and the white garment church, they are heavily rooted in the African rhythm and sound, and my parents they really helped in bringing that side of me, because all they listened to them was the barista Ayinla Omowura. My dad loved Ayinla Omowura and Aruna Ishola. So I grew up listening to those sounds and those music. So it's right in there. So when, of course, growing up and you have to move with the trend, you have the Justin Biebers of this world and the rest. So, but then in creating a balance to making your sound, or making my sound, acceptable to the society, yet still retaining that root and that originality. So it's a blend of both.
So what would you call it?
So I will call it Afrocentric.
Afrocentric. Okay. We should have to let you go in a little while, but there are many other people making music.
Yeah.
Some make music and pattern it after their most loved songs,
Okay.
which could be foreign or local. In vision casting or in branding yourself, if you would advise anyone who is just about getting into
music,
mainstream music, who's been doing music, in the bathroom, in the choir, and all of that, in terms of creating a brand of music for yourself, what would be your guiding counsel?
Okay, so I would say sustainability. You need to know your strength. You need to know what works for you, where your strength lies. Then you plug yourself in it. If, for example, jazz is what works for you, plug yourself in there. If it's hip hop, plug yourself in it. Because at the long run, it's about sustainability. You don't want to do what you're not strong at. You want to stay where you know that, okay, in the next 20, 25, 30 years, you can still function at the same even at a higher capacity. So that's what that's the advice I would give anybody.
But while that is given, if I love rap and the environment I'm in is not so given to rap, I will be lost.
One thing about music is, a lot of people make that mistake, but the truth is, there is market for every music. There is market for every music. That's one thing I've discovered. A while ago, I met an artist in Mexico. His name is Andre, and he does salsa. So you could take your music here. There's a song I did for Citation. He heard the song and he reached out. It's a pure salsa. I had to learn how to speak Portuguese to sing the song. He heard the song and he said, you sound so much like Portuguese. How did you do it? I said, oh, I went through this process, and we became friends. So that music, I can take it to that environment and monetize and sell and make money.
Good.
So someone right here in Nigeria would think, oh, how is he making money? But I'm making money somehow.
Okay.
So,
somewhere else.
Yes.
No, but on that making money, because I needed to ask a question along that line. I just didn't know how. Yeah. Now that you have given me how. Yeah. Making money from music.
Yeah.
Many people do show business and focus more on the show and know little or nothing about the business. Now, they are two completely different things.
Yes.
But sometimes if you focus a little too much on the business, you lose your vivacity for the show. Yeah. So how do you get the balance, especially at a time when many people believe we do not have an industry as such? We don't have, you know, we just have people who just want to do music because they love to do music. And of course, you can't just do music and give your song to the landlord and say, that's your rent.
Yes. So there's this, you need to have a team. Most artists, most creatives, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not saying all, but most creatives, they are always lost in their craft. Like all they think, they wake up in the morning, all they think is, oh, I have this new idea, I want to create.
Yeah.
I have this new idea, I want to create.
Money is never
money. Yes. So before you know it, they get to their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they still don't make the money. Then they end up being frustrated. So what you need to do is, you can't do everything alone. You need to have a team. You need to have a lawyer. You need to have someone who would handle your finance. You need to have someone who would a marketer. You need to have someone who would help you say, okay, you want to create, fine, no problem. But this is an opportunity. Create something into this opportunity so we can monetize for you.
Okay, that's it.
You are being tele-guided, sort of, so that you are not a hungry old man.
Definitely.
Right?
You have to have a solid retirement plan.
Exactly. Okay then, thank you very much, Kent Edunjobi. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And give our warm regards to Kunle Afolayan.
Sure, I actually will.
Great.